Hello, my name is Bob Herdman, and we're here today to discuss using EFI's Fiery Freeform in Microsoft Word to place some variable text onto some postcards. As you can see here, this is the front of the postcard, and this is the back of the postcard, as it stands as static master artwork, or what we would call a shell. When we add the variable data in, which you can see here in red, we now have the full card, which is print ready and printed on your BizHub in one pass. In other words, it's a single click per side, and you've made 2 postcards without having to do any manual labeling on the postcards. The first step in the process is to do some basic housekeeping in preparing the database. We need to ensure that the horizontal lines, otherwise known as rows of the database, are intact and have the proper column headers and record numbers on them. Here highlighted in yellow you see our record number column. This column is in place so that we can print each record number or each horizontal row number on each individual postcard. That way, if further down the line we spill coffee or miscut the postcard, we can have a quick way of going back and reprinting just that simple postcard. Highlighted in yellow here are our column headers. Our column headers are going to become our variables or placeholders in our Word document as we prepare the merge. Here we see our database as one single line or one single row for each individual postcard. But since we're putting our postcards 2 up on a sheet, what we need to do is cut and paste our database such that the bottom half of the database comes up and is now to the right of the first half of the database. Above you see highlighted in yellow and blue are column headers. You'll notice that the column headers on the right have a 2 prefaced in front of them. What this does is it allows us to signify a first name versus the second first name that's going to appear on the sheet, because again we are printing these postcards 2 to a sheet, one up and one bottom. Please save your changes to your Microsoft Excel worksheet or your database in this particular case, and let's move on to the second section. In this second section, we're going to use Adobe Acrobat Professional to measure out our placement of our variable data on each postcard. In other words, we need to know exactly how far from the left and how far from the top each variable is going to go. Starting with the blank canvas of our shell, we're going to go about dragging in some ruler lines so that we can see where exactly this variable data needs to go. If you don't have Adobe Acrobat Professional, you can achieve these exact same steps by just printing out a hard copy of your static artwork, or again your shell, and using a ruler and a pen. The main point of this step in the process is to plan out exactly where these variable elements are going to go into your piece so that you have them to reference when we're laying out the Word document. Our next step in this process is to print over our static master to the EFI Fiery Print Controller. When we're doing this part, it's important to pay attention to job attributes such as double-sided versus single-sided and portrait versus landscape. Next, we need to go to our VDP tab, which stands for Variable Data Printing. We need to go to Create Master and select which master number we'd like to use to store our static artwork, as well as select Print Master. Now that our preparation is done, we're finally ready to go into Microsoft Word and set up the Word document to receive our variable data. The first thing we need to do is go to File, Page Setup. Once in, let's go to the Margins tab and go ahead and set all of our margins to 0.25 inches. That'll be top, left, right, and bottom. Next, we need to set our paper size to 8.5 by 11 letter. Next, we're going to click on View and then Ruler so that we can identify in the Word document exactly where our variable data elements are going to go. This will allow us to use the measurements from either Adobe Acrobat Professional or the measurements we wrote down when we took a ruler to our hard copy printout in Section 2. Now we need to start the mail merge engine within Microsoft Words. So let's go click on Tools, Letters and Mailings, and then Mail Merge. Once there, you'll see a right-hand pane pop up. This is the Mail Merge Wizard. Let's go ahead and select Letters at the top. Go ahead and click Next, and now click on Use Current Document, and click Next again. We now need to navigate to the Excel worksheet we did in Section 1. So let's go ahead and click on Use Existing List, and then click Browse to navigate to our database. When the Select Data Source dialog box pops up, go ahead and navigate to wherever you saved that Excel spreadsheet, which is going to be our database, and select Open. Next, please select which table or worksheet from your Microsoft Excel document contains the data for your mailing. Also, please check off Data Contains Column Headers, which we set up in Section 1. Lastly, please choose Select All and click OK, which returns us to the Microsoft Word Mail Merge Wizard. Click Next. Now click on More Items, which allows us to add variables. And notice that the variables now are the column headers from our Excel spreadsheet. Now please insert all the variables that you would like. In this case, we're going to be placing the first name variable on the front of the card. Next, we're going to type in any static data, such as our sales rep's phone number, as well as address. This is static data because it does not change postcard over postcard, so we can just type it in Microsoft Word. It does not need to be variabilized. Next, we're going to type in the static return address for the sales rep on the back of the card, as well as all of the variable addressing information. Please also note that we're going to be adding a record number, which was the first column in our spreadsheet, and this is going to allow us that disaster recovery piece should we spill a cup of coffee or again miscut the card. It will identify which record in the database needs to be reprinted. After clicking Next, you'll see that an on-screen preview appears of the variabilized text exactly as it's going to appear on your postcard. Again, after clicking Next, please click on the Print button in the Mail Merge Wizard window. This right-hand pane Print button will give you the capability of printing as a merge and not just printing the one record that appears on screen. Now select the range of records you'd like to print and click OK. Once the Windows Print dialog box pops up, please select the printer you'd like to target, again targeting the EFI Print Controller's hold queue. If you don't have a hold queue, please work with your local sales rep to get this fixed. Now click on Properties. Now under the Layout tab, select all the job attributes such as portrait orientation and left and right duplexing, exactly as we set them up when we printed over our Adobe PDF static shell, and then click on the Variable Data Printing tab. On the Variable Data Printing tab, select Use Master and assign it the master number that you created when you printed over your static PDF document. Also select Print Master so that the EFI Fiery Controller is sure to pick up that static PDF that we sent over in step 3. Now it's time to make magic happen. Go ahead and start up EFI's Command Workstation, and again, if you don't have the software, please work with your local sales rep to get that solution fixed as well. Now we want to find our static portion, which was the first job that we printed over. We want to right-click on that portion, and we want to select Process and Hold. Once your static master portion has finished processing, you'll notice that it turns dark yellow on the color indicator on the far left. Next, you want to right-click on your Word document and select Print. You should soon see your BizHub printing out your postcards, not only as the shells, but also with the variabilized information that we wanted to insert into them. Congratulations, you now have your postcards. Again, my name's Bob Herdman with Konica Minolta. Thanks for tuning in today, and have a great day.